You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/newoldheads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7. The good brothers in the building, starting off with my man Jay Moore. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, as always. Go ahead and get this money while it's here to get.
Heard that. You turned your back on the hockey jerseys, I see. Now we doing baseball.
I mean, it's summertime, it's kind of a bit much to try to deal with the hockey jersey.
Are you an outfit person? Did you go to Shoe Carnival and get you some orange, red,
First of all, if you don't
shoes?
get down like that, you probably wouldn't go to Shoe Carnival, because you just gotta. And like I said, I'm not knocking Shoe Carnival. I'm a Shoe Carnival dude. They're not a sponsor. But when I go up in this discount shoe store, I just like the fact that I could go in there. I got to tell nobody to go to the back.
I ain't mad at that.
I can spin the wheel if I want to.
I ain't mad at that. I just thought you might have had a fit. Everybody. No. Summer is about fits. Everybody want to have a fit.
White, gray, and black. It gets the job done.
I ain't mad at you. My man Lonegevity, how are you, sir?
Doing all right, man. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm doing great, buddy. Good to see you.
All right. Yeah, good to see you.
That was kind of aggressive when you said buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you, brother.
Yeah, thanks.
Nice shirt.
Thanks.
Dope project.
Yeah. We actually have a lot of these shirts.
Still got some left?
Yeah, I think they're all in a box. So
I need mine. I done wore mine so much. I might need to get. Can I get a new one?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean,
I heard him say it.
They're not just me. Section leaders is both of us and Clarence. So.
All right, I'm about to get the okay from him too. Well, Jay Diff is out, so I always got to give my man his just due, but he's just pretty much on the just on the squad at this point. My man, brother to the night. How are you, sir?
I'm swell. How are you?
What's going on?
This dude, man, that was a long laugh, brother. Oh, he's not done. What's good, bro?
Oh man, it's great, man. I missed you guys, man.
Come on, man. Drunken Nights representative. Good to have you back. We always appreciate you when you slide in and fill in for us, bro.
Man, it's nice to come in here and talk music with y'all.
Oh, I know.
I really enjoy to come in here and say my spill.
The people enjoy when you pop in too, man.
Yeah, shout out to Jay Brookins. I actually met him for the first time.
Oh, okay. Good brother, Jay Brookins.
At Take That Tuesday, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Mr. Trees himself, man. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Jay Brookins, good brother. Another quote unquote, well, not quote unquote, another team member that helps us out whenever we need some help. So salute to that brother as well. Shout out to the chat. We see y'all. I didn't even realize this, and this made me feel really, really old. Wu-Tang Forever turned 26 years old, bro. I didn't even realize it was that old. But it's not. The age is one thing because we're older and we lived it, but I'm always curious about how records age and, more importantly, how they'll be remembered. Is there anything that's associated with Wu-Tang Forever from a how well it aged standpoint, how the impact, like how is that album looked at? Like, what's the impact for it? Because a lot of records were great, but some of them are associated and have a lot of impact. Some change the culture. You could say Ghetto Dope, Master P, Ice Cream Man. All those are cult classics that changed. No,
hey, now give me Ice Cream Man.
That's what I'm saying. Like those are cult classics records that changed something. Is Wu-Tang Forever one of those records, or is it just a dope album?
Not at all.
Not at all.
It ain't 36 Chambers.
No. Okay.
It was a good double album.
But you're saying 36 Chambers probably had more of what we're talking about.
To me, that was the one. I was like, I mean, granted, now I'm saying all this, I was not outside.
I know.
Right?
Yeah, I got you.
But the production of that, specifically that album, was different from anything else that was out at the time. RZA's music production on 36 Chambers was like a different type of grimy on that album. That changed things. Wu-Tang Forever was just like a continuation of what Wu-Tang was already doing.
Boom.
What were you going to say?
I can't really add anything else to that. I was outside.
I was too.
And only thing that stood out for me from the Wu-Tang Forever album was the Triumph video. Everything else, it was just like, yeah, skip.
MGM was dope.
Be careful, man. Duck Season was fire. Be careful.
They had a lot of records on there that I thought, when I went back to it, they just had a lot of songs on that album.
Yeah.
But most
Overkill, maybe too many records.
I think so. But it's pretty solid. Like when I go back and listen to it, it's not one of those albums where I go back and I'm like, oh man, like there's way more L's than W's, right? I go back and when I listen to it, I'm like, nah. In general, it generally stands the test of time.
Right.
I think.
I agree too.
The same tracks that I didn't like back then, I still don't like now, and the same ones that I like, I still like now. That's kind of how I view it, anyways.
Cash Still Rules is just another one where I could play immediately. It takes me right back to that space, and it still sounds just like it did. Right. So there's records reunited, same thing.
Nostalgia.
All those records to me,
Dog-ish. Man.
All right,
That's one of those ones I was like, when sometimes
I didn't need that one per se. I didn't need that
sometimes
one.
Metronome will be like, well, what do you want to hear real quick?
I don't
like,
know, man.
Play
that one.
No, I just know that there are certain albums that, to your point, Lone said it perfectly about 36 Chambers. There are culture shifting or impactful projects. I think this one, with it being 26, I would put this more of an aged well record, but I'm with you on 36 Chambers being that one.
How I got the Wu-Tang Forever was somebody I worked with in high school at Wendy's didn't like it and gave it to me.
Boy, you got lucky.
He gave you the tape or the CD?
CD, double CD.
Wow.
He gave you the double CD.
I mean, he also gave me like,
CD
I got a brand Nubian CD. I got like a whole bunch of.
Okay,
but he didn't like any of them. I was just like,
He was buying CDs and was like, nah, this ain't it.
Yeah, he's working with a clown.
Hold on.
He gave you some heat.
Hold on, did he give you Foundation? Because that's not, that's not the one you wanted somebody to give.
He gave you Wu-Tang Forever.
Yeah.
Man, bless his heart.
Yeah.
He's an idiot for that. I would never. You couldn't have pried it from my pockets or my hands.
No, because you know what? I bought Wu-Tang Forever on CD.
$26.99.
Yeah.
That's what
Because
I paid.
I was like, I ain't got $30 for a CD.
My mama was like, yeah,
You can have a half a CD.
She was like, yeah, so if you buy this CD,
And I had
it's
a
gonna be
job. I was
lot.
like, I ain't paying that.
Yeah, there's a lot of grass being cut and stuff because she was like $24.99. I said, yeah, ma, it's 2 CDs in there. She didn't even care. And there was 2 CDs.
No, she didn't care.
Yeah,
So, but nah, man, I like that long. Go ahead, bro.
I hated that double CD era. The most upset.
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yes.
I knew this was Art of War.
Somebody has been arguing with me in the comments on the segment from last week that Bone Thugs deserve to be higher than Outkast. And they
What?
And
Hell no.
and I said, I was like, there's no comparison. Like you can't. He was like, and I'm an Outkast fan. They're like second. I was like, how do you miss their misses?
Was there any type of justification for this?
That person definitely justified
just
it.
I'm talking about like what were you getting fed to? What was this person saying to try to make this work? I don't see this at all. And I like
Everything
Bone.
outside of their first 2 albums has been complete, utter trash.
I
Art of
wouldn't
War
say
went
trash.
Art of War. I've had
It's
this
just Art of
conversation.
War. After Art of War,
Was
I
it
was
like wet
off
trash or dry trash? It's different.
They would have a song here and there, but
Art of War was trash, bro.
Trash.
Trash.
I would say, if you could take CDs back, I would have taken back the Art of War.
Yes.
Man, I don't know
Mine
about
would have been
trash.
Quality Control by Jurassic 5.
I'd have taken that one back too, because I heard the song Quality Control and I thought the rest of the album was going to be that
It
good.
got me.
It definitely got you on.
I
that.
hated the one dude with the
With
deep voice.
Charlie
Charlie
Tuna?
Tuna, that was the only thing that on there that I liked.
Yeah.
I hated him.
He was at least unique.
You said you hated the double CD era.
I hated it
Man,
because you was getting a lot of trash.
Yeah.
it's rare. It's rare to
Remember
put
when
out.
8 Ball put out a triple CD, but one of them was like a compilation.
It was a Suave House compilation.
No. That was the one that did it
Oh,
right.
oh, that's the one that made you feel that way.
No, the 8 Ball's Lost album, he went in on that project.
It wasn't. I was about to say. I know you weren't about to disrespect that
Now the
album.
Suave House compilation,
I was cool on that CD.
nah, because it had a
There's
version.
psychodrama on it.
It did. And
Hold on, did you play that? Were you the
It
one?
wasn't on, I did play it at
Yeah,
the club.
okay.
Yeah, I did.
Because I was like, I ain't heard this song in 20 years.
What records was on that Suave House compilation?
The very last song on there, it was Too Short and they bought MJG. Can't Stop Rapping.
I forgot about that.
That's with the T-Mix version.
Okay.
That was enough for the CD alone for me.
Is there any double CD where both discs are actually dope? You know what I mean? I feel like, and the reason why I ask this is I feel like you're just setting yourself up to fail when you put out that much music. Because it almost feels like a compilation.
But when you think about it, if you really think about it, it wasn't a lot of songs on those albums. Like you was probably only
20.
20 to 24 songs.
Yeah.
superb, and that was one No Limit album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, it was
for sure. E40 album.
Streets Disciple. Nas a Streets Disciple.
Yeah, nah.
That should have been one CD.
Streets Disciple had filler. I will agree.
And you know what's really messed up is like,
and that album got heat on.
This is where sometimes an artist can be brilliant but not be smart. Is like, to qualify to be counted as a double CD album has to be of a certain length.
Mm-hmm.
Or it just counts as one. You know, you got 2 CDs in there, but it doesn't count as 2 CDs towards your contract or towards sales. And I think Nas was short by like 3 or 4 minutes.
Wow.
And so like that's why Columbia and Def Jam were both on Hip Hop Is Dead, because he did not fulfill he thought he was going to put out that double album, then the greatest hits, and then he'd be off Columbia and be able to sign as a free agent anywhere he wanted to go. But he was like 3 or 4 minutes short.
Wow.
And then that's why they had to be a dual promotional thing, and because he did not satisfy the terms of his original record contract by like 3 or 4 minutes.
27 records, or 27 tracks on Wu-Tang Forever.
Yeah.
16 on the second disc.
I mean,
11 on the first.
I think the one thing about Wu-Tang though is there's 9 dudes, so you can
so it makes sense.
You can stretch them over multiple records. You know what I mean? As opposed to Biggie doing 27 records or E40 doing 49 records. Like it's different.
E40 doing 49 records.
Yeah, he did. He literally did.
He did that.
Right.
No, I know. The block brochure, each one of them had.
This is like 3 years ago, 5 years ago. It's like
4 albums.
It's like 4 versions of the block brochure.
Yeah, this is where we need the homie DJ Spools, because he can he can give you a full breakdown, because he'll get every album.
Shout out to Spools. He knows all of those.
So we've got to talk about Timbaland and the artists that he has put out there. You know what I mean? Because we were talking, or even his production. Because when you think about the artists that Timbaland has put on, and I'm not counting Missy, I'm not counting Genuine, I'm not counting anybody who was already who they were before they got with him.
Like Bubba Sparks.
Bubba Sparks.
Bubba Sparks is one of his.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But I count Bubba Sparks. Miss Jade.
Okay. Hold on. Was it girl Miss Toy? Or was that somebody else?
Miss Toy was with
that was West
Major
Coast.
Figures.
Okay.
No, she was West Coast.
I think, yeah.
But what's your angle here?
Yeah.
Hey man, he throws a lot of trash out there.
His tree,
Sebastian,
his tree ain't there.
Magoo.
Magoo. Yeah.
I've never heard this. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I see where we're going.
Yeah. Like Tim,
To be such a great producer.
man. And then, like Tim, bro, hey, yo, you missing a lot, my G.
Let me ask you this question. This
Tink.
This is definitely gonna be.
Tink she was good when she got away from him.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I was about to say. I know Timbaland is revered in hip hop.
Yeah.
What is he, Lone? Revered.
I said that the right word, right?
No, it's revered.
It's all right though. Don't worry
But
about
it's
it.
you good.
Yeah.
Well, it depends where I'm from, right?
You're right.
First of all, if we'll let you get consider some of the stuff.
Revered.
I've definitely put you some words
out here talking about Smoked It.
Yeah, I definitely said.
But at least I asked, right?
Yeah. My name is Major 7th. I definitely said spoke it as a grown man.
I like
With a
saying
mother as a teacher.
Exactly.
I like saying posthumous because I just like the way that flows. But I like saying posthumous.
Yes.
Posthumous, yeah.
Because I just like the way that flows.
Yeah.
But has Timbaland's work
No.
through time, has it actually aged well?
Not at all.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay, Lone, wait a minute now.
Because I don't think that it has.
I'm with you.
You don't think?
Wait.
Dirt off your shoulders. Man, here's another moment where everybody's gonna say, "Oh, of course the white guy says that," but I don't think "Dirt Off Your Shoulders" is a great beat.
Okay.
It wasn't this time.
All right, wait.
This time.
Okay.
Maybe.
But
Now,
now,
let me pull some stuff up
Jigga
because
who?
I see this is gonna be coming.
I like Jigga What Jigga Who. But then,
That beat was hard.
yeah, but now
I don't think it's aged well.
it's not. It's
my
annoying.
angle. Yeah, it's like
Potion,
Dirt Off
Potion
Your
by
Shoulders.
Ludacris.
That beat is fire.
don't get me no. I don't want to say across the board because he does have records that are really dope.
He does.
But in general, a lot of Timbaland stuff, when I go back and listen, I was like, man, he kind of had the corny beat on the album.
Okay,
Ooh.
sir. So I
As
pull
opposed to Swiss Beats?
No, Swiss is right
Swiss,
there with him,
yeah,
but
I was
he's
about to
always been that. He's never gotten out of that. He's always been
petty
that.
for saying he's always been that.
But
you're
has.
right though. You're right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. And again, Swiss has bangers. He has hits. He's the Rough Rider joint or the Rough Riders,
yeah,
but
Rough
DMX,
Riders anthem. Yeah.
the DMX big hits and stuff like that. But in general, I don't know, man.
Okay, so Lone, I'm glad you said this. I'm gonna dive in real quick.
Okay, dive in.
All right, so because I'm a Timbaland fan, but I don't think y'all are too far off for this. But I just want to provide context. So Aaliyah's first album, One in a Million.
We not counting it. We not accounting Aaliyah. We not counting.
Why not?
Because Aaliyah was
Oh,
already
you talking about
Aaliyah.
you talking about his production? Okay, no.
If
Right,
we're talking production, I mean, I'm
it's not
sure.
her first
look,
album.
What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that across the board all of Timbaland's stuff is garbage. I'm saying that if you look across, and I don't, maybe garbage is too strong.
I
Because
think your garbage is too strong.
Because what
Look,
what I really mean
what
is
genuine song can you always play?
What I really mean is he has tried a lot of things.
He has.
And he's went left on a lot of things that I don't think a lot of the stuff that he's went super left on have aged super well. But he does have bangers.
He does.
Okay, so
he gave
He
Justin
had an
Timberlake
era.
heat.
Timberlake got a lot of heat.
Timberlake got some of his best work.
that's what I was going to use as a reference because they have
On
heat.
that Future Sex Love Songs
Fire.
album, he was in his bag.
Look,
He was
look,
in front on
people
that.
are going to try to hyper focus on the fact that I said some of his stuff is bad, but I'm not saying that everything he does. I'm
it's
saying
bad.
we
Yeah.
can definitely pinpoint records. It's like, what?
It was moment music.
Yes.
Timberland did a lot of moment music.
Yes.
If it wasn't Timbaland's name behind it, the artist would not have chosen that beat.
Boom. That's it right there. Boom. That's it right there. Yeah. It's a drop the mic right there, right?
Go back and look at Jay-Z's face when he's listening to Dirt Off Shoulders the very first time, and you see him processing this thought.
Oh, you talking about- on Fade to Black.
He
Yeah.
was processing every other beat that he was playing just like that. He was like, "Man, nah, give me something."
Yeah,
else."
because he
His
said.
But
face
he was like, am I missing something?
Yeah, because he used to heard the potion and was like, nah.
I like the potion myself.
Nah.
I hate that record.
I thought that beat was cold.
I thought Promiscuous Girl was fire.
yeah.
No, I did too.
Like the whole beat. Like don't get me wrong, Timbaland's got time.
I mean, he did all of Missy's first album, Super Duper Fly.
Missy did a lot of her own first album.
Boom.
I mean, but it's listed as all tracks for Timbo. Now they probably co-produced. We ain't gonna, whatever.
All right.
You skipped right over Player. This is a hip hop podcast, but that
I know.
Player?
Player, yeah.
I don't know players, so
I do, but really, I mean, did he do Cheers to you?
He did.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't worry about Player.
Can't hate.
Volume 2, Jigga What, Jigga Who. You remember that beat?
it was cool.
Okay, long
It was
time.
Nah,
cool.
that sticks.
It's
I
cool.
think that
I feel
sticks.
like it
But
has
it was
legs.
it was stripped.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot to it.
So
So
anxious.
that's what made it great.
So anxious.
Now you're
Genuine.
getting an R&B.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's.
But to Lone's point, so on Nas, I Am, You Won't See Me Tonight. Do you remember that
I
record?
hated that record.
no, I don't remember.
See what I
that.
mean?
No.
To-
And that's my
'cause
favorite
Aaliyah-
Nas album.
Yeah, I
that
hated
must have been
record.
like track number 6 or 7.
You Owe Me by, you remember Nostradamus?
Was it number 8?
Yeah.
Because I remember I always skipped from like 5 and then went to like track number 8, 9 or something like that.
You know what's
And then
crazy?
skipped Dr. Knockboot because
Dr. Knockboot
You know what's
was
crazy?
fire. You was tripping.
You know what's crazy?
Thank
Lone?
you. Somebody else likes
No,
Dr.
Dr.
Knockboot.
Timbaland could have produced that.
Dr.
thought he
Knockboot was
did.
trash.
No, he
See?
didn't do that.
Exactly.
Dr. Knockboot was trash.
I like Dr. Knockboot.
Nah, I'm
Lyrically, let me just say this real quick. I know you're
Go ahead.
I know we're all over the place, but lyrically, there's never any argument against Nas ever.
He used to kill Dr. Knockboot.
Ever.
Like
the lyrics, his flow, the way Nas did Dr. Knockboot is fire.
Yep.
The only thing that I've always ever had a problem with Nas was when he I feel like somebody made a comment in one of our things that said that Nas would take average production and make it like listenable. And
Because he was so
sometime-
good.
because of what he was doing. And that's more so, I guess, to my point that maybe I wasn't articulating quite as well, is that it's not necessarily that like it's Nas picking bad beats. Nas is so good. What I'm kind of saying is Nas is so good that he's making really average trash beats
Listenable.
sound decent enough to actually want to listen to. And not
that's
many
real.
artists can do that.
That's real.
Anyway, sorry, Mike.
No, you good. You good.
Or Michael.
Thank you.
Hello, Michael.
That's actually a good point. I was just going through some of the records, and to your point about rememberable stuff, Volume 3 for Jay-Z is one of the albums that I like, but it doesn't stick out in the catalog. Tim got 4 records on that album.
Terrible.
And I'm
is the
thinking
thing
about
you do with-
Snoopy track is
Terrible.
hot. Big Pimpin'. Come and Get Me was fire. Now I like Come and Get Me.
He did Big
What was the
Pimpin'?
fourth
I didn't
one?
know he,
He
did.
He
That
did Big Pimpin', yeah. With UGK. So
What was the fourth record? Was that the things that you do? Or no, that was
It's
Swiss
High.
Beats.
yeah, which was trash.
Oh, with Mariah Carey, that was.
I hated that record.
And like for 2 weeks, I thought that song was fire. Then I turned it on one day. I'm like, this is awful.
That beat is corny.
Can I
That record
highlight?
is
Can I
corny.
highlight something that all four of us, like hip hop heads that have been in hip hop for a very long time,
Yes.
have noted just in the last 5 minutes is we've mistaken Swiss Beats for Timbaland a lot.
That's a good point. I didn't even realize it.
And look, for as much as Jay Moore said last week, Swiss Beats is probably a great person. You know, he seems like a great guy. A lot of his stuff is just very, very par.
I will stand on this hill
Maybe
with
a couple
my friend.
above, maybe a couple above par.
I will stand on this hill with my friend.
You're right.
I've always thought this. I'm glad you said it. I agree with you 100%.
Sometimes he like knocks it out the park.
Fam is a legend.
He
I'm
knocks
not.
it out the park when he actually gets on the track.
You think so?
It's
That's when
it's
because he
like-
has the energy to
it's
it.
Like
the
his Fat
ad-libs.
Man Scoop type.
Yeah.
Because he gave Cassidy's production he didn't even deserve.
Yeah.
What-
That was his artist though.
What's the record where he was it was a Drinking My
Drinking
Two-Step?
my two-step.
That was a big record.
Yeah.
Because to this point about Swiss's swag with the ad libs and all that.
Yeah.
When he does that, it works.
It adds.
But I'm talking
gives it
about
to it.
him as a producer saying, okay, I'm going to take him and sit him down with said artist and I'm going to enjoy it. Outside of DMX, I'm like, it just didn't connect. It just doesn't
There's
connect.
a DJ Scratch beat that he got on.
New York.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yes.
Hey, like
Swiss
no.
got on it.
Swiss
Yes,
got on. Like
I
I thought
agree.
it was Swiss Beats. I was like,
Me
oh
too.
man, and then
I
I
was
was like, oh, it's DJ Scratch. But
Yeah.
like, why Swiss on here? But Swiss like
Swiss
made
being
it
on
fire.
that record made that record fire.
Yeah.
Yep. So I got to
Like,
give
New
credit.
York, I was like, yeah, that's a record. That is actually my favorite record on that album.
Bruh.
It just jammed so
Swiss
heavy.
Beats talking cash on that record made that record.
Yeah.
Agreed 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we not hating. We're fair.
We've talked about Summer on Smash.
Am I the only one that actually doesn't hate the Snoopy track?
I
hate
don't
the
like
Snoopy
Snoopy
track.
As it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like. I know. I'm biased. I'm biased because we actually back in 2006, we actually rapped over that for a mixtape for my group Quality back in the day. So I'm a little biased. Maybe.
Okay.
So
I
anyways,
have never liked Snoopy track.
I thought it was interesting. I guess.
You know, one beat that it's subpar, but I actually liked it a lot. Beanie Siegel's in the club. Timbaland did that.
I loved that record.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I'll take that. Yeah,
I
I'll
feel
take that.
As dope as Timbaland is, it's so interesting because when you put him as we're going through these catalogs,
Yeah.
I feel like he kind of like takes away from the continuity of a lot of records sometimes because he's so different. He's so out there.
Timbaland is always the curveball on a record. Go look at the blueprint.
Hola, Javito.
That's the curveball.
Worst song on the album.
Everything. Hold on now.
No, he's right.
The worst.
I mean, Renegade. Oh,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm sorry, I don't like the beat,
I
Don't do
know.
that.
I know.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
but the song is good.
But he's the curveball on
But
these
Hola,
records.
it's still a good record, but like
Hola
the Blueprint-
Vito's a good dope
the
record.
Blueprint was just such a monster.
His records were. Is that fair to say though? That record was the
It almost
curveball
it
on
doesn't
that
fit
album.
on that album.
That's what I'm saying. Timbaland is always that person.
He always is.
He's that person on these records. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think almost to the detriment of the records though, because like he's so different. Like I almost want Timbaland being the great producer that he is. Don't get me wrong. I'm a producer, okay, so I understand what it is.
look my boy up.
But even Maja, I was talking to him because he's working with executive producing and doing his thing, and he works with an artist. Shouts to Fox.
shout out to Mommy Fox
And
legend.
the first thing I said today, I said, "What is Fox looking for?" But that was my question. It wasn't like, how can I invoke longevity into Fox's record? It was like, what is Fox looking for? And do you think that these records could potentially fit for what he's doing? And I feel like Timbaland's approach has always been, I'm Timbaland, you're going to get Timbaland.
Boom.
And maybe that's what artists want from him, maybe. But at the same time, I think it's almost to the detriment of that project.
The songs that I've actually heard from Tim that I've liked in recent years, I don't think he touched them. I think he might have came in, he puffied them.
Now he does have, and it's well known on Twitch. They go through beat submissions and all that. So he's got a lot of producers that are underneath him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That contribute, throw him sounds. Like it's known. I ain't breaking no news here.
Yeah, major collaborations.
So I say that to say you might be on to something with some of these records because it might be okay, I got a 75% shell. Okay, put your Timbaland on it. Let's get to 100.
Exactly. Exactly.
There's probably a lot of that going on now.
That's Illmind has been doing the same thing with his live streams and collaborating with people.
Another dope producer.
Yeah, he's super dope. But I think like that's kind of the era we're getting into is like heavy collaborations. But to your point, I don't think a lot of these records are strictly Tim anymore.
Let me ask you
Just
this.
like Dre had that.
The last one I loved was Lloyd Banks' "I'm So Fly."
Oh, that was a monster beat.
And Danger Hands said he did that.
I believe it.
Okay.
I believe it. I believe that 100%.
I can hear how maybe Timbaland might have sprinkled some Timbaland on there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a sprinkle though. I agree. I'm with you. I actually believe that. I guess here's a question for everybody since we're talking about producers and fitting in versus fitting out. I would say, in my personal opinion, I think it's easier to call Pharrell and have him fit in versus calling Timbo and having him fit in.
I think
You see what I'm
Pharrell's
saying?
a better producer.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
You know, like as far as that's concerned.
For what we talking about?
For what we're talking about, to me, Pharrell is an actual producer. Plus, there's stories. Like we can go and like, you know, I've read these stories, you know, and heard them in videos and interviews. Like Pharrell is that type of person.
Prime example is Allure on the Black Album. It works.
Yeah.
It
I
works.
think, and the thing is I think that's a kind of a step away from Jay a little bit, but it does fit.
But it still works.
Yeah.
It works.
It's still Pharrell and it's still Jay at the same time. Whereas when I think of, I'm gonna keep going back to Dirt Off Your Shoulders. When I go back to that, every time I hear that beat, I'm just kind of like, okay, you know, like it doesn't sound like a Jay-Z track to me. I don't think I've heard Jay-Z on anything like that style since or before.
If you remember though, in Fade to Black,
Oh no.
he says there's a cutaway where he says, well, they're flying to Miami. He says sometimes you work with producers, and I'm paraphrasing. Sometimes you work with producers because they're talented and they're dope, and sometimes you work with producers because they hot. So that bar right there, to your point, maybe that Dirt Off Your Shoulders was a direct reflection
Look,
of that.
man, I've never even seen Fade to Black. I know that's
Gotta
sacrilegious.
watch
it.
That's almost as worse.
Thank you.
That's almost as worse
knew
as
he
you
was
never
not
seen The Wire. But
What?
See, no, it is worse.
See, it is
You're
worse.
not seeing The Wire is worse.
But look, it's on my list.
This is
to watch.
cyberbullying on the low.
Let me ask you this question real quick because I just want to know, where can I even watch Fade to Black?
It was on Amazon at
I'm
one
gonna hook
point.
you up too.
Thank you. Thank you. Because I've been wanting to
They
watch
move it around.
I've been wanting to watch it for a while, but it hasn't crossed my path. But
I think you'll enjoy Fade to Black.
No, I know I will. I've been wanting to see it for a while. I just haven't. It hasn't found my in a streaming platform
You'll
where I can
enjoy
watch it. But no, I think that's very interesting that I said that, and then Jay-Z said that because I had no idea that he said that.
when you see it and it leads right into it. I'm jogging my memory. It leads right into the session with Timbaland. Like he's on the plane, they doing the cutaway. You seen it? I believe he says that as they lead into the session for Timbaland.
This is Big Tim.
Yeah, they're like this is like,
In the
like
studio.
super
Yeah.
Tim.
Drinking,
Juggling.
Yeah, and he.
I think
This before he got a solo flex.
steroids.
Don't do
See,
Don't do that.
I think to
Remember
further.
when that stage with all the hip hop rap or super where they was all big like superheroes?
Yeah,
Busta, Dre.
Missy.
See,
Wait, are you talking about the big clothes?
No,
No.
I'm talking about they was
when they all
actually,
they was on that creatine.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's
They
something.
was all
different
out
from what I
there
saw.
with them.
I really hate
with them
him.
Well, he
expensive
said-
with them expensive wife beaters on.
He started it with Busta, so that's immediately where I went.
Busta,
really
the
I
was thinking-
Big Bang Busta.
I was
Yes.
thinking of Hype Williams, and anyways, never mind.
I really hate.
he was really messing with that Barry Bonds,
Yeah,
the HGH.
but
Go ahead, man.
He might have just Gold's Gym.
I feel like
Y'all so disrespectful.
I feel like Timbaland as a guest producer, I feel like he probably, now I'm not super knowledgeable of his extensive detail with his catalog. I'll just say that. But what I will say is this. I feel like Timbaland, from the stuff that I've known and that I've heard, both from his R&B stuff and from his his features, I feel like he is best suited as a producer when he's working with an artist for a whole project.
You talking about Timbo?
Yeah, because then the entire sound is Timbaland instead of just him injecting a sound on somebody.
Justin Timberlake proved that. They
Until you got that Man of the Wild foolishness. What was that?
Nah, he kind of lost me on Man in the Wild a
He
little
was
bit. Now,
good.
it was some heat on there, but
Yeah,
it
was
kinda-
there?
It had a couple records, Jay.
Yeah,
A
no.
couple.
Yeah,
I mean, Pharrell.
Justin Timberlake when he's trying to rediscover his whiteness. Could have kept that whole
to the
album.
woods.
Yeah, man in the woods.
He had the beard and everything, the super beard.
Yeah, he was like, yeah. You know,
So now black people can't go in the woods? What's going on here?
I knew it. I
Not if
knew
you
it.
were white people.
yeah.
Not if you want to come back.
Yeah. No,
Hey, I felt that on the low.
I saw surviving the game, man.
Yo, I really felt that,
shout out
man.
Ice-T, one of his finer films.
Wow. All right,
That's
man.
funny.
Yeah, that's stupid. He's stupid. But with Pharrell, he did the majority of Justified. Am I tripping?
It was Pharrell and Timbaland. They kind of split duty on that record.
Okay. Because Senorita is a fire record. I don't DJ from a DJ brand. I don't know if you
Senorita,
still
that's
run
Pharrell,
that.
yeah.
That record still go.
I feel like from a stylistic standpoint, though, Pharrell and Timbaland they have similar characteristics, and it's probably because also being from the same region,
Yep.
coming from the same family tree,
Damn near high school.
You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Something in the water.
Yep.
Maybe. I mean, it comes from they come from the tree of, why can't I think of Teddy Riley?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's both Pharrell, I think, and Timbaland both, I think, excel in the R&B realm, even though they can both do both.
Hey, and shout out to, since we talking about VA, don't forget about Knots.
For sure.
Now he's not the completely different producer, but we talking about like VA, that area. That dude needs to get his flowers while he is here.
Not
also
everybody
Bink-
right.
And Bink,
right?
Bink
is another one. Bink is another one.
He's from VA.
Yep.
Got to get them boys and flowers, man, because VA really. And we want to talk about producers by state.
Virginia.
That's tough.
Yep.
If we want to
you know the
do
record I was
producers
thinking
by
about?
state.
When you said Allure, I
Yeah,
was like, what else sounds like that? Remember he gave on American Gangster, he gave Jay, I Know.
I know.
Yeah.
Yep. Now I know. Now, American Gangster was full of soul samples, but I Know fit
It did.
to the point that we talking about.
Yeah.
It wasn't that far out. It wasn't a whole lot of veto
But
far out.
he did have a whole veto, but it still was cool.
Exactly.
On American Gangster?
yeah.
Yeah, on American
What was
Gangster.
the whole video on that?
The Pharrell record, the Blue Magic is kind of
Blue
like
Magic.
Yeah.
it's kind of like Hola Vito, like
That stood out more than I Know on the track list.
Yeah.
But it was
as
a
far
single,
as the
though.
sound, as
Yeah.
far as the sound goes, it's like, man, this don't fit the rest of the album, but it's still cool.
Yeah.
Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Printfinity is a screen printing shop based in Indianapolis, owned and operated by our own DJ Jay Diff. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon and become a member for as little as $3 a month. All details on newoldheads.com.
All right, so let's do Drake, man. Read this post on his IG. He says, people like to complain about how much music I put out, but I look around at all these faces and I know it's summertime. I got to give you new music. I don't know about these guys that go away for 3, 4, 5 years that want to chill out and all that. That's not me. So this must have been a response to.
Talking to Kendrick.
I know it's about Kendrick. It's got to be about Kendrick. It's got to be about Kendrick.
Did Kendrick say anything to Drake? Did I miss that?
No,
Well, they've been talking back and forth.
Have
just,
they?
subliminals.
Yeah.
Subliminals.
Okay.
But I immediately thought Kendrick.
I like
I immediately thought Kendrick when I saw that as well, but I didn't understand why he would even say it.
I mean, but this is on brand for Drake. It's a sub. It's a quote unquote messy, if you will. Like this is who dude has been like in his career. But I'm more focused on what he said, because that is a conversation that's been held where you talk about, people that put out so much music, high quantity of music versus does that water down the quality of the music? Because I'm from the side of it doesn't bother me when somebody takes time to put out a record when it comes out and it's great.
Do you care if it's 5 years in between projects?
Yes.
The fan in me probably does, because I'm selfish and I want to hear more of an artist that I like. But the creative in me says, took that long to cook it. If it comes out great, it kind of justifies it to me. Does that? You see
it
where I'm
makes
going with
sense to
that?
me. It seems like Byron's got a different take, though.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, like Drake will give you something and it's going to stay there. He'll give you a moment.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Drake gives you moments. Kendrick will give you a body of work that they can live for 2 to 3 years, I'll say.
Oh, and that.
I think the interesting thing to your point, though, is that, to both your points,
Okay.
is that we're in such an era in time of moment. Everything's kind of a moment.
Exactly.
Like, even though I enjoyed Mr. Morale for what it was, for everything you just said, it was still only like a moment. Until I was on to something else. And I don't think that's Kendrick's fault. I just think that's where we're at.
It is. Exactly. And that's the difference between the two. Like I say, Mr. Morale, it was a moment, but it's like it didn't last long. Like it wasn't a damn.
Right.
I still listen to the record, but it's playlist listening. Like there's joints.
I was about to say, tell me what record Mr. Morale that you still listen to.
But I say that to say I listen to a playlist style. Like there's
N95?
records that I like. That's dope. Mirror is dope.
I like the N95 joint.
The joint
I mean, there's a handful of them, right? But there are some joints that you probably won't play very often. You know?
But that album, I don't even think this album was meant for that. To the point about body work. So, but I can still respect it from a creative standpoint.
Because Kendrick could do that if he wanted to. That's the whole point of it. Like he just decided to give us this.
He did, and he did it with Damn.
To Pimp a Butterfly.
That's what Damn was. Yeah. Damn was like, okay, I know To Pimp a Butterfly was a little bit much for y'all to try to digest.
Yeah.
Not for me.
That might be my favorite one, actually.
But Damn, I'm gonna give you straight singles.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he had record after record after record on that project.
Is that what Fear is on? Fear's on that one?
Yeah.
Fear, Love, Pride, all that
Loyalty,
stuff?
yeah.
That record's fire.
Yeah, all the way through. All the way through.
But with Drake, he's one of the few artists at this point who can feed the algorithm, and the algorithm will feed him back.
Yep.
You understand? Because he streams so much. If he keeps giving the machine product, most artists just are not eating off the streaming. I think a lot of y'all saw, if you didn't do your Googles, about how Snoop was sitting up with a bunch of tech executives and was like, how does this not add up to this? Where is this money going?
It was like 1 billion streams isn't $1 million.
Isn't $1 million.
Yeah.
You know, and so Drake has figured out a way to play the game. He's like, okay, I'll give y'all this so you can talk about it and you'll listen to it even if you don't like it. You know, when he gave us that, you know, On a Boat in Ibiza album where, you know,
Right.
you know, taking drugs with models type album, you know, and then he came back and gave us a joint with 21 Savage, you know, and then he's probably going, like I said, we're not getting out of the end of the summer without something from Drake.
He said, "For all my dogs is coming."
Exactly.
That's basically what he's saying.
So
like,
he has in what he's,
But that's his lane.
that's his lane. And so
lane,
what
huh?
he does, he knows how to do basically
He does the
3
same
different
album,
albums in
just
3 different
repeats it.
styles, you know, and to satisfy everybody. And the thing is, this is where Drake is at right now. Even for people who don't like him, they got to listen to his project at least once so they can properly hate.
Well, you know, and
I mean, unless you're me, I don't have to listen to it to hate.
I don't have to listen to it at all.
and
Oh no, I want to be researched in my hate.
Yeah,
when
but
I
at
come
the
on
same
here,
time,
I am
you are
very
different.
thorough in
But
my hate.
But you are different. You and Byron are both different too, because you are also looking for records that are going to work in a club.
This is true.
I do not care at all.
I mean, it's I get you that.
I like the
But hold
shrug
up,
with
though,
it,
hold
too.
up. I will say this though, Drake probably has people feeding him
For sure.
100%.
records.
Yep.
I think Kendrick does too.
In what way? Like style, like, hey, do something like this, or
Man, how much of Baby Keem have you listened to?
Baby Keem
None.
is trash to me.
None.
I'm sorry, Baby Keem is trash to me.
I actually like Baby Keem.
I'm sorry.
What?
Yeah.
I'm gonna act like you did on the wire. So what?
No, I actually like Baby Keem.
Yeah, when he's got a song with Kendrick.
I don't.
No,
I don't.
no.
like-
Thank you, Jim Moore.
I've listened to every last Baby Keem project. You know what I mean? And
You enjoyed them?
when I hear Win, I hear Baby Keem.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I feel so. You're essentially saying that Kendrick is drawing inspiration on his records from other people around him and
Yes.
stuff. I can see that for sure.
Yeah. So
But I think most artists do that to try to stay relevant in the general. You know, they'll find artists that they kind of mess with, and then they'll try to mold themselves around it. But I'm not. I'm
No,
sorry.
he's
I'm
not taking- he's
I'm
not
not
taking
going on.
lyrics.
I'm not going with Baby Keem personally.
But there's a difference between
he's
but
he's
did-
putting his cousin on or
but
something.
but did you like Win?
By J Rock.
Yeah.
Well, I like J Rock.
Yeah. I like J Rock.
I actually like
That's what I'm
J-Rock.
saying.
I like J-Rock.
So and then even the J Rock new single East Side
I haven't heard it yet.
Yeah, I heard it.
is hard.
It's hard. Yeah.
J Rock doesn't miss.
True.
Like he doesn't really
True.
miss.
And he kind of took Jeezy's flow, like Jeezy liked to drink, Jeezy liked to smoke, Jeezy liked to mix him Arm & Hammer with his coke.
Really?
He took that and spun it like East Side.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Okay.
It's jamming though.
Yeah, I like J Rock.
I fool with J Rock.
Reason? Do you mess with Reason?
I mess with
Reason is
too.
nice.
Reason kind of makes the same record every time though. If you go back and listen to it, like I like Reason, but every single record is super predictable.
It's.
I don't want to get too sidetracked, but sorry.
No, I agree 100%. Now he's an incredible lyricist, but it's going to be the same thing 9 times out of 10. Go back and listen to it.
No, you're right.
And I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
No,
Me
Reason's
too.
nice.
I'm talking about. I don't understand how. I don't understand how y'all rock with Baby Keem. Like,
I can't get with
cool.
Baby Keem.
I'm cool.
I like
Hey,
Baby
Mike.
Keem.
Let me ask you this question. I'll just ask this to the board. Does Baby Keem rap in the pocket or is he ahead of it?
Honestly,
nowhere.
I don't mess with any
nowhere
rappers.
near the pocket.
I don't mess with any rappers that rap ahead of the pocket.
So you don't mess with Detroit.
What you mean? Detroit is in the pocket. You talking about the
New Detroit?
Like name an artist.
like scaring the.
Vezo.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't.
I swear Vezo. Babyface Ray.
I don't know who that is.
I know, baby. Yeah, I know.
I know.
I don't know who that is.
These are 42 Doug.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he
these
doesn't
are
know
like-
who they are.
Yeah, these
no.
These
Like,
are hot rappers.
That's
from Detroit
fine.
right
They can be hot and be trash at the same time. Like
He ain't lying there.
if you can't be in a pocket, the same way drums have to be in a pocket. When you rap, you are trash to me.
Okay, so I'll give you somebody that's they pick a pocket, and then sometimes it's ahead, sometimes it's behind, but they always Schoolboy.
Schoolboy's always on beat.
Hey, Jay.
He's always in his pocket.
He is.
Andre 3000 is always in the pocket.
always in the pocket.
No matter if he's ahead of the beat or behind the beat, he's still in that pocket. What I'm specifically talking about is an artist that you'll hear that they'll intentionally like rap ahead of the beat and then
They
like,
try to catch up.
yeah, well, but it's like they're not. I
They're not in sync.
I cannot nod my head to it.
I get you. That.
If I cannot nod my head to it, I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to have to do this. Like I'm not into that. Like so, but at the same time, I understand there's a lane for it. But the reason why I say this, I know I'm getting on a little bit of a tangent, is because when I came up as a rapper and as an artist and as a producer
and as a musician,
all these things.
Don't forget that
it's
part.
different because you know music theory
For sure, but
you can read notes. And so certain things are always going to bother you musically.
Thank you for saying that.
But as a music producer that rapped as well, I know what it's like to rap a verse and then have it not fit in the pocket and be like, I need to go back and fix that.
it, added a word or something.
I'd be like, all right, I need to fix my pocket because I'm ahead of it or I'm behind it or I'm doing something. And it just feels like everybody is doing one takes and they just don't care and they don't think anybody cares. And when I think about it, this is me as a producer telling any artist I've ever worked with, you need to go back in there and do that better so people don't laugh at you.
But
I am the person laughing at you. And I know you don't care, but I don't care that you don't care.
the thing is, everybody's not wired to be bothered by it.
It's just,
You see what I'm
how do you
saying?
not have internal rhythm?
Everybody don't. I'm rarely shut up in arguments.
Right.
You just shut me up, man. You right, man.
I'm just saying, like,
Classic moment here on the New Old Head.
if that is your thing, that is cool. I'm just saying, like, that is my one thing with hip hop that I just don't fully grasp. I don't understand how people just let it go.
But that's when you're not dealing with artists that get in the studio with producers. They get in the studio with beat makers.
Yeah.
And
With their
engineers.
mans in them.
The engineers don't care.
Look, man, I have 13-year-old white kids from Carmel that understand the pocket.
He does.
I'm just saying, like, there's no reason, there's no excuse for like a sound. I know I'm not trying to hate.
Nah, go ahead,
but there's no reason for a song like Pound Town to be popular and people not to be making fun of it. People should be making fun of it.
Not even on the lyrical content, but just because it's an offbeat.
It's offbeat. It's like, what are you guys even getting into? Like, I don't know.
What she said, the TikTok moment.
It is a moment.
But Lone,
I get it.
you gotta
I get
remember.
it. Believe me, I understand all the arguments. I'm just not going.
No. What I'm saying
heard
is,
that.
I'm actually going more towards your point. From a recording standpoint, the way music is produced and worked on now, in our era, we just talked about this prior to coming on the show about the togetherness with music and working on projects together and being in a room with the engineer or the producer or even people that are in your group, as opposed to emailing verses or emailing this and that. A lot of these kids are sitting at their computers and just recording stuff dolo. There is no person to say.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
you can tell.
And the product reflects that.
And that's essentially my point is we can tell, but there's not enough people saying that we can tell and that it's not good enough. Everybody's just like, oh yeah, that's hot.
Well,
Blueface sounds like a complete idiot to me.
Well, the difference
He does.
is you're talking to the trained ear. as opposed to somebody who just wants to enjoy themselves.
Yep.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So
I acknowledge that.
that's all it is somebody they just want to dance and shake their.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
This goes into the whole conversation a handful of weeks ago when we were talking about gatekeepers.
Yeah.
And Ebro talking about we need gatekeepers. To me, we need a gatekeeper that says you can't even rap in the pocket, like you can't be on beat, then you can't get radio play.
And you know this thing that sucks now? There are gatekeepers, but
They don't
suck.
know either.
the only
They suck.
the only thing is the gatekeepers now are on TikTok.
Yeah.
What are the viral moments? Or how many people are following this trend? Then that's what we're going to run with.
And the gatekeepers now, to go piggyback off what he just said, are easily influenced.
Look, if I was a nobody that just bought some some foam, and I was in a room and I made a few beats and I was trash, but I decided that I was going to be super active on TikTok and go live every single day saying I'm reviewing music. Eventually, I'm going to be somebody that is worthwhile to pay attention to review music, even if I don't even know what a pocket is, or even if I don't have any credentials to be that person.
Bro,
I saw this literally yesterday. Somebody's like, I'll review your music, send it to me. I'm like, why should I care?
bro,
Who are you?
What you just described, though, is all major platforms. It's Instagram, it's YouTube, it's TikTok. I wouldn't say Twitter per se, but those three that I just named, everybody is an expert.
Yeah.
Everybody is a content reviewer. Everybody comments on. It's just... we're commenting on stuff. We're talking. We're at a podcast.
Yeah,
we're talking stuff, but our angle is different because we're coming from places of experience first and foremost, but also knowledge of it based off that experience. There are a lot of the novice game is so high now. You literally can do what he just said, and you can accumulate thousands of followers in a fast amount of time. If your product is clear, crispy, and clear enough, it's going to work.
Just by being a yes man.
It's the blind leading the blind leading the blind, bro. You know how many people review things
Yes, I do.
that probably have no clue about quote
Anything.
unquote the pocket or music or anything. To
I mean,
Jay Boy's point.
Academics is famous. You know what I mean?
He's very famous.
He's an example of this. No Jumper is a very major brand that promotes hip hop.
Oh, Adam.
I'm just saying.
Let's not get into that.
Please don't go down that road.
You talk about the pocket.
Yeah, please don't get me started on your buddy Adam.
There we go. But
No. Oh, go ahead.
Nah, you can go ahead.
No, I
Any
mean,
vultures in the sky around here?
no, because
ahead.
the thing is, even when you think about when we talk about Dr. Dre, there's always somebody when even on back to those Ruthless albums, and you'll hear his name, some of the stuff DJ Quick did, cat named Big Bass Brian.
Big Bass Brian.
So you got to understand,
I don't
even
think it
these
sound like that.
elite beat makers, they kept musicians around them.
True.
People who understood music theory.
True.
People who could be like, nah, no, go back and do that. You're offbeat. We have a metronome. Like there are people who probably don't even have a metronome or understand what a metronome is supposed to be for.
I teach him all the time.
You know, and that's the thing. Like you're actually, you know, for people who want to say, oh, this dude is just hating. No, he actually teaches music theory to people who want to become producers and beat makers. Okay. Yeah. I sat in and like I said, I don't have that part of my brain, you know, that works like that. Everybody's like, oh, how is it you done this and you don't really DJ out? It's like, there's something in my brain that just does not click for that. and you know, but you have to, if you're going to do music, you need to keep someone around who has that kind of brain. So it doesn't sound like craziness to people who actually understand the structure of music, because that's, you know, when I, you know, I guess that's probably why I was so, when they had the City Girls on the top 50, I have heard Young Miami rap off beats so much that it is like to the point where I'm like, how does nobody else hear this?
Well, she got it together now.
It's better now, but like some of those early City Girls records are so terrible. Probably because like there's always one of them that was in jail or something like that.
Jay
so,
catch.
And so like, you know, like it was hard. You had to always start moving things left and right on your Pro Tools to try to make it work.
That's what I do.
But I mean,
remixes
honestly, that should make it easier for you to stay on pocket.
Look, man, I literally did 2 remixes in the last 4 days only because I wanted to fix the verses for the artist and make them sound better. I'll let you guys hear the records afterwards.
Okay.
The comparison. But I made them vibe. I made them sound good. But and I'm not even trying to you know, prop myself up, but it's just like, it's to your point. It's just like the bar is so low for people to get into this now, and there's no way, if you don't understand it, there's not a lot of people that are going to help you. If you really want to learn, you can come by the school and we can get you right.
Talk to them.
But at the same time, it's like, we're missing, I put this a little bit on, like, it's not just about the artist being not able to do that. There need to be people that can reach out and help these people not be as bad as they are at the same time.
You know what though, Lone?
Crazy this has all come from a Baby Keem conversation, but
you know what though, Lone? First of all, I agree with you. But I don't see this changing in the near future because the people that aren't doing it are so successful so fast. I can see a lot of people saying, why would I care?
Right.
If the road to prosperity is just me sitting down and half-assing a record.
I do not disagree with you.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
because
look at
I
my
know
watch. I don't care about being on
it doesn't
beat.
matter. Like, and
that was going to be my next point. I don't see it changing.
I say that to say that's sad.
It is sad.
That I'm actually saying that, but I think, and then you throw in AI, it's only going to get worse. Like the quality and attention to detail, it's only going to get worse.
Maybe AI will help it. Maybe
You think so?
I don't know. I
don't know either. That's why
It's just gonna give you the words. It ain't gonna really.
I don't
It can't
know.
give you the flow.
I'll be honest.
Well,
like,
hey, good point.
I am not a pessimist. I'm a realist. No, let me rephrase that. I am a pessimist. I'm not an optimist, and I don't necessarily know how it can get worse from here. And that's coming from somebody that typically looks for the worst in things. So I don't know how we can get much worse than like the bar that it's at right now.
Okay.
As far as music is concerned, I feel like we're at an all-time low in my entire lifetime.
I agree. The bar is in hell.
Like it's exactly.
And you know what? This is not, and I say this from time to time, and I feel like I have to make sure that I say this over and over again because it'll be missed. Everything Lone is saying has nothing to do with him being old. This is an assessment of the music game as it stands right now.
From a structural
standpoint, but somebody that's qualified to say it. This has nothing to do with him being old.
I think it actually a little bit actually does.
Yeah.
Because I have the experience to know better.
No, I'm talking about how your comments could be perceived as if you're older and you're just saying everything is bad because you old.
Well,
that's what I'm speaking
That's
to.
what it's going to be to them, just because
Well, and I'm
they can only
Don't forget that part.
That's the number one thing.
they can only evaluate what they're given.
Right.
We're old enough to know what music was 20 years ago.
30 years ago.
30 years ago, as opposed to what
I just look at my boy giving a fair assessment. He can be 27
right.
and make the same assessment.
No,
that's all I'm saying.
He's right.
But you coming from a wisdom and an experience standpoint, so I'm agreeing with that. I'm just saying,
No, I understand.
it will easily be perceived as get off my lawn.
No, it's
But, you know what I'm saying?
definitely get off my lawn, and most people are going to chime in and say, "What does this white guy know about hip hop and rhythm?" He probably claps on the 1 and the 3, and I'm saying like, no, I literally teach people to not do that. But anyway,
Do your Googles.
But this is the thing also, and it's just so we can not just jump all on the young people.
Yeah.
I remember when Ninth Wonder was, and everybody was like, oh, Ninth Wonder. And I was one of those people that would get on the internet and try to download anything by Ninth Wonder or Kanye West, before.
me as well.
Yeah.
Me as well.
And I remember he did a remix, unofficial remix, for A. Marie's Why Don't We Fall in Love? And
Yeah.
Joe Scudder was rapping on it. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
man,
I remember that.
And
Joe Scudder could rap in the pocket though.
Yeah. But
I'm just saying.
I remember somebody,
Damn, he got me.
and
I
I
me
like
not
how he
knowing,
wakes up in the morning.
Every morning, hold on my.
but I just
He's
remember
stupid. That's
somebody writing about how, okay, yes, he's a hip hop producer, but if he's going to produce and do remixes for R&B, he needs to understand what key she's singing in,
That's true though.
Yeah.
because he made a beat that's not in key with how she's singing. Now, I didn't know that from a technical standpoint because I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, I like A. Marie and Ninth Wonder. But then, like, when you play that for people who have been trained,
They start cringing.
and they're like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's one thing if you do it, if you're making a beat for a rapper, he just raps over the beat. But if somebody is singing in a certain key and you make a beat for her that is him or her that's not in the correct key, it sounds crazy as hell.
And for the record, as a sample producer, which Ninth is, it's harder because you have to find a sample that is in that right key, so it is more
and
challenging.
you're
but
as a producer, that's
no excuse, but
No, there is no excuse because as a producer that's
You can
seasoned,
change key right there in the software.
but
Kind of,
yeah,
but not
that
really.
doesn't mean that it's going to always. It's still that's not guaranteed to line up.
Think of it like this: if a song is in a particular key and it goes dun, and then it changes notes, well, you can pitch it down or up, but it doesn't necessarily mean that when you pitch it down and up, that the same notes that it goes from here to here is going to be in the same key because there's so many different majors and minors and different other things.
And it's going to stick out very bad.
Yeah.
You'll hear it. Like I've tried multiple times on you try, sometimes you try and you fail and you're like, man, this sample sounds so good over the verse.
It just doesn't work
And then
on the
the
chorus.
singing comes in.
Yep.
And
I
it sounds
can't use
crazy
it.
as hell.
Yep.
I have to really scrap the whole beat and go back and try to find something else
Yep.
if I'm choosing to sample. It's not going to work.
Yeah, that's pretty much any sample. Anytime I make a remix where it's like I know we're getting way too nuanced here, but anytime I make a remix where they're singing in it, I always do the singing part first, and I typically those beats don't have samples in them.
Yep.
So I can play along to whatever key the singing is in.
Yep. Because
Way
it's
too nuanced. We're getting extreme music
Sorry,
nerd
y'all.
stuff
Yeah.
for most people.
you
but-
good.
You know,
all right, man. I want to
on,
get
on another podcast, it'll be like, oh, we just drying up the vagina.
all right, man. So Charlemagne, don't know if I see this one, but we're gonna run it and see. So he's comparing Cardi B's impact to Jay-Z and Drake's. Cardi did for female rap what Jay-Z and Drake did. Whatever that next thing was out, Jay-Z was jumping on it. Whether it was Juvenile's High or whether it was Houston, whether it was Rick Ross, DMX, Jay-Z was jumping on it. 50 Cent, etc. And he says it's the same thing. Drake did it with lesser known artists. What Drake did was making the record big. What Jay did with those cosigns was make the artist big. And he talks about when Jay jumped on Dope Boys Go Crazy with Jeezy and Hustling with Rick Ross and the remix, Juvenile, all that. Then he said, I think Cardi's doing both. I think Cardi's helping to make the artist big and helping make the music big. Cardi doesn't just do the verse. She does the video. She go live with them. She'll talk about this MFer, tweet about them. That's what she's supposed to do. So that's where he's coming from a comparison standpoint.
I'll destroy that, but you know.
No,
You know what?
The context is important.
You know what? I'm not mad at this. Once we got down to that last part, she does do that for a lot of the female artists. And I think that's dope that it's a lot of people will do a verse, you won't see them. They won't be in the video, they won't talk about it, they'll get paid,
Come
they'll
on,
move
man.
on.
You can't.
I'm gonna rock with him on this.
Hustling was a hit before Jay-Z jumped on it. Dope Boys Go Crazy for Jeezy already a hit before she jumped on it. Let me tell you what Cardi does, because and you can speak to this. Remember when Tomorrow came out and they had a video where she was on a private plane with her ugly girl crew and they was kicking it and signing the contract.
Conditioned.
The record wasn't
100%.
doing nothing. But when Cardi jumped on it, we haven't been able to get away from that song.
It's true.
Okay. It's a song. Is it with Lotto now?
Yeah,
the record?
Put It on the Floor.
Put it when it was just Put It on the Floor, but now Put It on the Floor too. You put Cardi on it.
Yep.
It goes from being something that's just like a middle tier record that we might run at the beginning of the night. Now it's a 1 o'clock and better record.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now she got another song with somebody I can't remember something. It's something new. But Cardi will jump on a song, and that's her song now.
Yeah.
Because honestly, we could cut Lotto out of Tomorrow and play Cardi's verse.
Glorilla.
Or Glorilla, my bad. And it'll go. Like as long as that's the part all the girls sing along to.
That's true.
And the thing is, this is why she's so much different than Drake, because Drake still will put out a record, a whole album, in between jumping on verses. Cardi ain't put out a record in 5 years.
She hasn't.
And Cardi
She's still relevant.
Cardi has remained not only relevant, but the fact that when her records come on, her verses come on, that's the part
everybody's singing to.
Everybody's singing to. Think about it. WAP, Money, Up.
Mm-hmm.
These are all Cardi B records, and they're not on any Cardi B album. Yes, Tease Me. So she's found a way. I would almost say that she does something that Drake cannot do. Because Drake, maybe the Fetty Wap record, but that Fetty Wap record was going to come out, baby.
My Way.
That was going to go with or without Drake.
I don't know. I think Drake could do that.
But I just know.
Does he just not do it?
Maybe
If anybody has the power, I think Drake has the power.
He has
to
the
do
power,
that.
but
That's
I
what I'm
have
saying.
seen Cardi B turn records that were going nowhere into certified hits.
I think Drake could do
Drake
that
could
too.
do that in his sleep if he chose to do it.
With the JB Block Boy record. You know what I mean? Look Alive.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen a JB Block Boy record since.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Drake would be the equivalent, not Jay-Z, in my opinion.
no, Jay would.
Because Jay was jumping on records that was already hits.
That's true. That is true.
So this is what
Cardi out here saving people's records.
This is the difference.
Talk to him.
Jay was trying to give credibility to said artists.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When Jay hopped on that record, it was like, this is the new guy. Drake was stealing sauce.
I can see that.
You know what I mean? So
He's like, that's a nice style. I think I might want to use that.
I like that.
This record's buzzing.
Yeah.
So let me
hop on this wave.
this. Yeah, let me hop on this wave.
Yeah.
And then you never hear from them people again.
Good point.
If they don't capitalize.
Right.
Because Drake got a record right now with a cat named Smiley. Song is good.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never heard anything else from the dude.
Smiley.
And the dude Smiley is trash.
And if Drake does a variation of Smiley, nobody's gonna care.
Exactly.
Nobody's gonna care.
Exactly. Cardi's doing both.
Yeah.
She's stamping the artist, and she's stealing some of the sauce.
So
You know what?
she's capitalism.
Yeah.
Because you
There
know
it
what?
is.
She stays as someone who hasn't put out a full length album
Exactly.
in 5 years. She's as relevant right now as she's ever been.
Yeah, because that
close
put
to
on,
it.
That put it on the floor record.
That's the song I was thinking about.
Yeah, that's the Detroit flow. That's Cardi hopping on the Detroit beat.
I don't even understand what this
Detroit
new
flow.
Detroit flow is. Is it like
It's not what you
it's so
thinking.
cold in the D? Like
No.
You heard the Put It on the Flow record?
Yeah.
no.
No, I know he hasn't heard that.
Nah.
So
It's different,
remember,
bro.
Remember
It's
when you
different.
was talking
Are
about
they rapping like ahead of the beat a little bit?
boom?
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that.
But no, I mean, and just think about the time we've been working together. Has there ever been a time when there wasn't a Cardi B song or a Cardi B feature that wasn't popping?
No.
And like I said, she hasn't put out a full length record in 5
And then
years.
as soon as it comes out, it needs to be played.
Yeah, you can't get away.
There's no warming up to that record. You need to play that as soon as it comes out.
And it's funny, we talked about the concept of artists waiting, you know what I'm saying, in the last topic. If Cardi drops an album based off everything that we've discussed, it's going to go.
You know why? Because all she has to do is put up money, WAP, and then have maybe 1 or 2 other records on there.
It's gonna go up.
And
It's
you're
a wrap.
talking about another hit record.
That's just supply and demand, really.
Yeah,
Like,
in
she
a streaming
understands that
era,
aspect very well.
that's how it's going to work.
If she capitalizes, to your point, with the supply and demand and chooses the right time, it's going to go. It's going to ring off. No matter what she puts out.
Let her
Don't-
put out a
don't
record,
put,
say August, mid-August, maybe late September when everybody's going back to school.
It's a wrap. The rap.
Don't put press on it, and don't put hot-ish on it either.
Yeah, you know it's correct.
'Cause
Yeah,
neither one of those records worked.
yeah. Press. What was that? What was on a Khaled record, and then Hot-ish. I think that was supposed to be her lead single, and it didn't do nothing, even though it had Little Baby and Kanye on it.
Man, I just don't care about this conversation.
Or Dirk. Yeah.
Anyway, man, I'm not mad at what Charlamagne said. I think it
he's
makes
right.
sense as it relates to female artists. I think he's right on the money with
Well,
it.
no, because this is the
I think
thing.
just in general, like
Just in
whether-
general?
yeah, whether
Because-
it's woman artist or not. Like,
Okay.
I think
Well,
it's-
no, because everybody says, "Oh, it was Nicki who gave women the." Think about how long Nicki was out, and there were no other women that came along and did anything.
But that was Nicki's fault. That's the difference between the two.
Because-
it's Nicki,
True.
Cardi is actually embracing the younger artist that's trying to come in.
But when when Cardi came out, all of a sudden it was a flood of other women. Because at one point it was maybe a 5, 6, maybe 7 year period where it was Nicki and nobody else.
That was by design, though.
by design.
I mean, maybe they for a second, 𝐀𝐿𝐴 had a moment, but then she was out of here.
Only because so imagine if Nicki hopped on the 𝐀𝐿𝐴 record.
It would have done the same thing we talking about with Cardi.
Exactly. That's the thing. She didn't embrace the younger artists.
So-
Cardi is.
So we could also say that Cardi is responsible for Sexy Red.
Yes.
You could say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because she got the same story.
We ain't gonna give her a trophy for that or nothing, but
But I mean, it's like
No, I mean, if Cardi hadn't have worked, then it wouldn't have been any Lotto. It wouldn't have been.
No, I disagree.
You don't
think so?
It wouldn't have-
eventually.
I saw Lotto's different. And the
think
only
so?
reason
Doja Cat.
I saw Lotto
Doja
on the
Cat's
rap
something else.
game.
Okay, I didn't watch that.
I saw Lotto when she was like 12, 13.
Oh, okay. I'm sleep, so you put me on game.
I just
I'm
know that there was when Cardi hit,
I got kids that was watching the rap game, so
there was.
sleep. Oh, you cheating?
There was I just all of a sudden there was a flood. They was like, oh, this is how we can make it work. Because for whatever reason, the powers that be and these people, these record companies, they saw Nicki as a one-off, and they did not try to nurture any more female talent.
Which is wild to think about.
Yeah. NewOldHeads.com for all the education you need this year. If you see it, like it, subscribe, give it a rating. Check our Patreon out as well. I think we just sent out some gifts on Patreon. Shout out to the homie Spools who helps us with that. We appreciate your support as always.
Spools.
Thank you, brother, for filling in. We appreciate you as always, brother to the night. Tell the people who you are, how they can get in contact with you.
I'm Brother to the Night. You can catch me at BROTHA, the number 2, DAKNIGHT. And you can catch me every Friday night at the Casbah.
Yeah.
Sound like that was on the radio.
DJing.
Yeah, I'm gonna be.
He's not just randomly there. He's
Yeah, I'm DJing.
He's not there just hanging
on the
out,
ones and twos,
standing in front of the booth. doing
yes,
nothing.
making sure that your woman shakes that.
Yep.
I didn't say.
That's all good at this point.
He got better. All right, man. We appreciate the support always. Shout out to the chat. Anybody that stuck around. A few people I believe are still in here. We appreciate the support, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Yeah.